If you are someone that is kind of guilty of holding on to Bitcoin for a little too long during those bull markets, then this video is for you. So we're going to talk about basically exactly what needs to happen for Bitcoin to hit $1 million and why, these kind of people that are saying, yeah, Bitcoin $500,000, yeah, Bitcoin $1 million, this bull market. And when all those articles start talking about it again, this is the truth. This is what you don't know right now, but this is also what they don't want you to know as well, because they want you to hold the bag to the very top so they can use you as their big dirty exit liquidity, boys and girls. And that's just how it goes in the crypto markets. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin and why, if you see it hit $1 million in your lifetime, then you're probably not human, because it's not really a massive chance that maybe this century that we will actually see Bitcoin at $1 million. I mean, it's possible, but the chances are seriously low. So Bitcoin is sitting at $41,000, and we've all been there. We've all been at the top of the bull market, and you've got your Bitcoin. You bought it like nice and low at 10K, but it's at 70K. But for some reason, you don't want to take $60,000 profit. I mean, what the heck? 60K from 10K? Why the heck aren't I selling? What am I doing? I'm an idiot. I'm listening to this guy over there on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, because he said it's going to $1 million. It's got to go to $1 million, right? So this is where we have to just stop. Just stop, and put logic back in the brain. Take those emotions, chuck them away in the bin, because they're costing you effectively either your early retirement or just a lot of money. So let's just talk about it. First of all, boys and girls, I want to make this clear as well. Bitcoin is for selling. Commodities are for selling, and do them in the right time. You're never going to time the top, you're never going to time the bottom, but remember that commodities are for selling. Silver is for selling, gold is for selling, stocks are for selling, properties for selling, everything is for selling if you do it at the right time. And that also goes for crypto, Bitcoin. I mean, what's the point in buying over here in 2020 at like that 5K dip we had, and then not selling at 61K, and then you have to suffer a whole 3 years of a bear run, and maybe you actually couldn't afford to hold for 3 years, but unfortunately you are, because you've been told otherwise. Well, we're going to stop this right now. I want you to share this with your friends, your family, maybe people that aren't too expert or key in the markets, because they might fall victim to this trap again. So let's just jump right into it. And it all comes down firstly to the globalized market capital. We've got Bitcoin at $800 billion valuation, but this all comes down to the globalized market capital, and that is the overall valuation of blockchain at any given time. And if we kind of look at the stocks and things at the moment, Bitcoin should actually be on this list, but for some reason it isn't. But Bitcoin is actually ranked 9, sitting around Berkshire Hathaway, just below Meta platforms. And effectively, I personally believe this is just tech companies right here, but when we actually include commodities like gold, silver, Bitcoin will eventually get to the top. So Microsoft will be destroyed by Bitcoin one day, Apple too, Saudi Aramco, all going to get obliterated by Bitcoin. And I'm pretty confident about that. But what is key is keeping your eye on the overall value of crypto market capital. So we are sitting at a 1.59 trillion. But I'm going to tell you something, we need a lot more for Bitcoin to get to $1 million. I mean, a significant amount of money. And we can just see, looking at the charts right now, this is a logarithmic regression chart, and this helps you time the top and the bottom in the crypto market. So, for example, if you bought Bitcoin during the COVID crash, which was a black swan event right here, March 2020, and you bought that for $5,000, you're buying in the green ribbon, which is the undervaluation phase. And this is a logarithmic regression weekly indicator, which I'm using on TradingView. I'm watching Bitcoin USD chart right here, and I've applied it because this allows you to see over time the undervaluation phase, which of course is one here, and then the overvaluation phase, where you should ideally be thinking about selling your cryptocurrency. So when Bitcoin was 69K, it was actually in the red ribbon, which is like, okay, stop buying, it's time to start selling. And now we already experienced Bitcoin in the green, which is, done and dusted. You're not going to see a 16K Bitcoin, most likely, again, for many, many years, or, ever again, to be fair. But what we're seeing now, is Bitcoin sitting in its fair value at $40,000. But this also tells us that a pragmatic price target is about $100,000 to $150,000 in the next bull run. Now, let's look at the total market capital of crypto. We're looking at $1.546 trillion. So why is this number important? Well, it all comes down, like I said, to the market capital, the global market cap. But more importantly, it comes down to one other thing that people don't really talk about. And that is the market dominance of Bitcoin, which is currently 50%. And typically, the dominance of Bitcoin only ranges between 40 and 60%. You don't really see an 80% dominance Bitcoin anymore. And this is because there are just many, many more altcoins in the market. And it just means market share is flowing into other projects rather than just Bitcoin, because there's more overall blockchain competition. So this is also true. Now, when we look at that market capitalization, and this is what makes, a $1 million Bitcoin most likely never to happen, is when you actually calculate the overall valuation in the markets you need. We could predict, sure, the next markets we might see a 6 trillion market or maybe an 8 trillion overall crypto market. And then fast forward to the next complete bull run in 2030, we might see a $16 trillion market, which is fantastic. But it's still not going to be enough to hit that big $1 million price tag that you want. And we can talk about it right now. We'll do that together. So for Bitcoin to hit 150K, Bitcoin has a dominance of 50%, we're going to assume. I want to talk about this topic more because not enough people understand, and it's frustrating. If Bitcoin has a dominance of 50% in 2025 and the global market capital is $7.5 trillion, Bitcoin would be valued at $3.25 trillion. $3.25 trillion divided by 19,610,000 circulating Bitcoins gives you a price tag of 165,000, which is really good. That's realistic. We could definitely see $165,000 Bitcoin. If you agree with me, subscribe. I hope you subscribe because, we're probably going to see one. However, for that big 1 million, it's going to take so much more. Bitcoin dominance, let's assume, not 40%. No, let's assume 40%. Let's assume that there are even more altcoins in the next whatever years, and it's harder for Bitcoin to peg that big dominance. So global market capital is $50 trillion now. That's an extra $48.5 trillion. The Bitcoin market capital would be then 20 trillion based off the 40% Bitcoin dominance. Then you have the 20 trillion divided by the 19.61 million supply gives you a price tag of $1 million per Bitcoin. So that's exactly when Bitcoin will hit $1 million. And that's the truth right there, guys. You can't make this up because these are the numbers. And that's what's so important. You have to follow what is true, the facts, the on-chain data, and just the very, very simple supply and demand things that we already know already. It's not rocket science. And this is stuff that people should already know and talk about more. However, every time we see it, Bitcoin's going to 1 million, Bitcoin's going to 500K. No, it's probably not, unless we see a significant amount of money injected into the crypto markets. So yeah, I know how you guys are feeling right now. The markets are back down to neutral. It's a little bit worrying. It's a bit boring for you guys, but just don't panic. Hold long term. Remember to have your targets and when to take profits. If you want more info on when to take profits and when's kind of good to sell, get down below into my crypto Discord. The 200-week moving average does suggest right here, we're not too overbought and euphoric, but the prime time was to buy on the 200-week moving average, which is when Bitcoin is actually on the red line. So the 200-week moving average would say the next good time to buy is roughly $29,000, which would be a fantastic time to get back into Bitcoin, most likely. We also have the Bitcoin halving on the way. So if Bitcoin does come down to $30,000, I think potentially dollar cost average in there could be really good. 78 days remaining until that happens. Now, folks, if you are a serious trader or you want to make some money in the crypto markets, please do consider becoming a Patreon and click my Patreon link down below where we provide over 500 trading signals per month. There are only 4 crypto legend packages available now. So if you want to get one of these limited slots, please do sign up. It will give you the VIP access in my Discord channel, which then you can explore all of those things. You're also going to get leveraged trade signals, spot trade signals. You're going to get stealth launch, ultra early coin launches, early access to pre-sales, whitelisting, super early launches, and kind of like inside info and stuff. So yeah, if you like that, please do support down below. The Patreon's there, and sign up to MEXC whilst you guys are at it for a no KYC, tiny fees centralized exchange where I personally do all of my trading. So see you soon, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching. And if you think this is somewhat true, Let me know down in the comments about Bitcoin hitting $1 million. Do you think we'll actually see a $1 million Bitcoin in this lifetime? Do you think it will just be something that, you know, is always going to be a big dream but never happen? You know, I really want to know your thoughts, so let me know down below. Stay crypto safe. Remember, this is not financial advice. And yeah, peace.